Vidyatapo yogapatam astitam samadhiswaram Sarantam Vitsudildam Vatsalyanukamangalam. Vidya, knowledge, apaha, austerity, yoga pratam, the path of devotional service, astitam, situated, him, Lord Shiva, Adiswaram, the master of the senses, Sarantam, performing, austerity, Tekta, Vishwa to them, the friend of the whole world, Vatsalya, out of full affection, Lokamangalam, auspicious for everyone. Translation: the demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. With this point, the demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as a master of the senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. Purport by Divine Grace Siva Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva is full of wisdom and tapasya, austerity. One who knows the modes of work is understood to be situated on the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One cannot serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead unless one has achieved full perfection of knowledge in the ways and means of performing devotional service. Lord Shiva is described here as Adiswara. Iswara means controller and Adiswara means practically controller of the senses. Generally, our materially contaminated senses are apt to engage in sense gratificatory activities. But when a person is elevated by wisdom and austerity, the senses then become purified and they become engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is the emblem of such perfection, and therefore in the scriptures it is said, Vaishnavanam Yataha Sambho. Lord Shiva is the Vaishnava. Lord Shiva is, by his action within the material world, teaches all conditioned souls how to engage in devotional service 24 hours a day. Jai Shri Radha. Therefore, he is described here as Lokamangalam, good fortune personified for all conditioned souls. So, yeah, the demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses, knowledge, through his activities, and the path of achieving perfection. So, in order to achieve perfection, first thing is that one must learn how to control his senses. If a person is not controlling his senses, then he cannot have perfection. This is not possible. It is not possible. So I explained here in this verse, the time it's quoted. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatya Suvairajam Jnanam Chaya Ahaiputam. That is particularly this word has to be marked. To get to worship Vasudeva Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janatu Asu, this word, Vairāgyam and Jnanam. See? So in order to worship the Lord, these two things are required, Vairāgyam and Jnanam. What does that mean? You can see the word Vairāgyam is here, used here, detachment. And Jnanam is said to be knowledge. So you require two things. You require two things, detachment and knowledge. So here, this translation. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So if you want to become advanced in spiritual life, you have to practice austerity. Yes? Tapa. Just now we saw the word tapa. Tapa means austerity. Why you need to practice this austerity? Why? Because the natural tendency of the human being is to enjoy the senses. See, that's the tendency of the human being. Simply by material birth, human beings become attached within their mind to personal sense gratification, long duration of life, sense activities, bodily strength, sexual potency, friends and family. Their minds are thus absorbed in that which defeats their actual self-interest. You understand this? So that is the nature of the soul. When stuck in this material body, the mind sweeps him along for all this so-called desires. This is desire. You know? So in order to extricate from this kind of a consciousness, then we have to perform austerity. You follow? So you see here this verse that we often quote. Many times this is quoted, this verse, you can see. Here it is explained. Rishabha vacha nayam deho deha bhajam nirloke kasta kamana arti vidpujame. Tapo again, see the word tapo, divyam pusrakayena sattvam sudayajyasman brahma saukyam anandam. Translation. Lord Rishabh told his son, my dear boy, of all living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work very hard, not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat food. One should engage in penance and austerity. Again, this word, you see here, the word used here is penance and austerity. To attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified and one attains the position When one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness, which continues forever. So, in other words, when a person performs austerity, see, when he performs this austerity and penance, then he comes to he becomes purified, he comes to the mode of goodness. See, you cannot come to the mode of goodness if you do not practice any austerity. That is not possible. If you eat, sleep, mate and defend, and you're living like an animal. You're living like an animal. See? What is that verse? Dharma mena pasubhir sama. Where you find it? Dharmena ena pasubhir saman. Where's that? What's the beginning like? Ahara nidra, yes, correct. Ahara nidra bhayamaituna. These are the animal. That's it, ahara. Three, 8, 9. So you see here in this verse, not here. Where is it? Can anyone help me? Seven, 8, 4. 7, 9, 4. So here in this, in the purport, I think. Nothing. 795, 794. Where? I think it's in that book, you know. Can't get it? Oh, it's 795 here. The thing is that no, the word is not there. Yeah. Eating, sleeping, sex life and defense are to be found everywhere. So in other words, I think this is not exactly. Yes, got it. J and D. See here, eating, sleeping, sex and defense is four principles that are common both to human being and animal. The distinction between human life and animal life is that man can search after God, but an animal cannot. That is the difference. In other words, if you do not practice this austerity, then you are no better than animals. Because animals got no religion. Animals got religion? No. You follow? So in other words, if a person does not apply his intellectual capability to inquire about God, then he is just a foolish animal, two-legged animal, pursuit, nothing there. So in the human life, the purpose of human life has already explained that we are by nature attracted to the mode of passion and ignorance. You follow? The mode of passion and ignorance. When consciousness is fixed on material body, home and other similar objects of sense gratification, one spends one's life chasing after material objects with the help of the senses. Consciousness, thus powerfully affected by the mode of passion, becomes dedicated to impermanent things, and in this way irreligion, ignorance, attachment and wretchedness arise. You understand? You follow? If you look like an animal, then these are the qualities will be in your heart. So in order to overcome this, you must come to the mode of goodness. You must. Then come to the mode of goodness means you must do austerities. And I will show you. This is explained here. Okay. Here the Lord is speaking. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion and ignorance, pertain to material intelligence and not to the spirit soul. By development of material goodness, one can conquer the mode of passion and ignorance, and by cultivation of transcendental goodness, one may free oneself even from material goodness. You see this point? Are you following? In other words, if we come to the only to the mode of goodness, then only we can make some progress. You follow? Understand? And even we must overcome this material goodness also. That's why we have been introduced this chanting program. This is beyond material goodness. Now let's read further. When the living entity becomes strongly situated in the mode of goodness, then religious principles characterized by devotional service to me become prominent. Understand this point. One can strengthen the mode of goodness by cultivation of those things that are already in goodness, and thus religious principles arise. Right? Understand? In other words, when one living entity becomes strongly situated in the mode of goodness, what is that? Waking up in the morning, doing austerity, cutting down the eating, mating, sleeping, depending. You follow? This is the austerity required. That becomes strongly in the mode of goodness. Then religious principle, you cannot come to the mode of goodness if you are not attached to a religious consciousness. Understand this point. Without performing devotional service, it is very difficult to come to the mode of goodness. You cannot, not possible. So when you actually come to this religious principle, characterized by devotional service to me, Krishna said, that's why you have to do this chanting, surrendering to the spiritual master. All these things are cultivation of things in the mode of goodness. And thus, religious principle arise. So when religious principles arise, then what happens? Religious principles strengthened by the mode of goodness destroy the influence of passion and ignorance. The only way to destroy this passion and ignorance is that we have to become religious. We have to become religious. You cannot become a good person if you are not religious. They say sometimes, oh, I don't have religion, but I'm a moralist. That doesn't work. You see here, only by religious principles strengthened by the mode of goodness destroy the influence of passion and ignorance. I understand it. When passion and ignorance are overcome, their original cause, irreligion, is quickly vanquished. Just now we read, passion brings in what? Irreligiousness, wretchedness, so many bad qualities. To counter this, must come to the mode of, and you must practice religious principle, austerity to come to the mode of goodness. Without austerity, tapodevyam putraka yena sattvam. If you don't practice any austerity, there is no possibility of you becoming what? In the mode of goodness. That's why you see, in Kali Yuga, every person, what is that? We'll go a little, come back to this. In Kali Yuga, Prayana, Alpha, 1110. See, this is the symptom of a person in this Kali Yuga. See? In O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. You understand this? They are always. So therefore, what is the symptom of this? Means what? Mode of passion and ignorance? Yes. Mode of passion and ignorance brings about these qualities? Yes. Isn't it? So in order to come out of this disturbed condition, therefore it wise that one has to become religious. One has to worship the Lord, the spiritual man. Then these bad qualities will be gone, will be driven out. And you see what happens. According to the quality of religious scripture, one's association with one's children or with people in general, the particular place, time, activities, birth, meditation, chanting of mantras, purificatory ritual, the mode of nature becomes differently prominent. Among the 10 items I have just mentioned, great sages who understand Vedic knowledge have praised and recommended those that in the mode of goodness, criticize and reject those in the mode of ignorance, and shown indifferent to those in the mode of passion. See how the sages, they act. They recommend and praise those that are in the mode of goodness. They criticize and reject the mode of ignorance. They reject the mode of ignorance and show indifference to those in the mode of passion. See how they even act. They're indifferent to passion. They criticize the ignorance. Understand? And they praise the goodness. You follow? Why? Because goodness brings about saintly qualities, religious principles, so many things. whereas the others are very, very dangerous. Understand? Until one revives one direct knowledge of the spirit soul and drives away the illusory identification with the material body and mind caused by the three modes of nature, one must cultivate those staying in the mode of goodness. By increasing the mode of goodness, one automatically can understand and practice religious principles. And by such practice, a transcendental knowledge is awakened. See how everything goes in sequence by practicing. That's why I recommend you to wake up in the morning, you have to chant Hare Krishna, you have to associate with devotees, you have to worship the Lord, you have to hear the scriptures. Yes, you have to stay in a holy place. Why all these things recommended? Because if we don't do this thing, then our mind will deviate and go into the mode of passion, will bring about irreligious principles. Today someone was telling me, yes, Prabhu was telling me that they have some Durga Puja, they have a partition, here they have the deity of Durga, after the partition they have some more kind of a nonsense going on. Bollywood dances and fashion parade and this and that. And this is religion? How does this work? You follow? That's why worship of demigod is not very, very helpful. Because you cannot elevate one to the mode of pure goodness. You follow? Huh? So if we want to stay in the mode of passion and ignorance, then we are doomed. We are what? Doomed. That means what will happen to us? Huh? We will be left with religious principle? Yes? Yes or no? And irreligious principle means sinful activities? Sinful activities means what? Huh? If a human being is engaged in sinful, irreligious activities, either because of bad association or because of his failure to control his senses, then such a person will certainly develop a personality full of material desires. He thus becomes miserly towards others, greedy and always anxious to exploit the bodies of women. When the mind is so polluted, one becomes violent and aggressive and without authority of the Vedic injunction, slothful, innocent, animal for self-edification. Worshipping ghosts and spirits, the bewildered person falls fully into the grip of unauthorized activities and thus goes to hell, where he receives the material infected by the darkest mode of nature. In such a degraded body, unfortunately continues to perform inauspicious activities that greatly increase his future unhappiness, and therefore he again accepts a similar material body. What possible happiness can there be for one who engages in activities inevitably terminating in death? That, are you understanding now? What is going on? Huh? Is it clear? Huh? What verse was I just religious? Six. Therefore, here explain my Sri Uddhava said, my dear Krishna, generally human beings know that material life brings great future unhappiness and still they try to enjoy material life. My dear Lord, how can one in knowledge act just like a dog, an ass or a goat? So in other words, if you are not becoming spiritual, then you are no better than a dog, an ass or a goat. Right? Huh? And again the Lord says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, a person bereft of intelligence first falsely identifies himself with the material body and mind. When such false knowledge arises within one consciousness, material passion, the cause of great suffering, pervades the mind, which by nature is situated in goodness. And the mind, contaminated by passion, becomes absorbed in making and changing many plans for material advancement. Thus, by constantly thinking of the modes of material nature, a foolish person is afflicted with unbearable material desires. See, the one thing leads to another thing to another thing. Then what happens? One who does not control the material senses comes under the control of material desires and is thus bewildered by strong waves of the mode of passion. Such a person executes material activities, although clearly seeing that the result will be future unhappiness. So our solution is to come out of this mess. Huh? Solution is to come out of this. We should come out of this mess. Understand this? Only way we can come out of this is to take shelter of the spiritual master. One must conquer the mode of passion and ignorance by developing the mode of goodness, and then one must become detached from the mode of goodness by promoting oneself to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. All this can be automatically done if one engages in service of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. And this way one can conquer the influence of the mode of nature. See, by taking shelter of the spiritual master only, we can very easily overcome the three modes. So therefore, devotee association is very, very important, especially the spiritual master. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, by associating with my pure devotees, one can destroy one's attachment for all objects for material sense gratification. Such purifying association brings me under the control of my devotee. One may perform the Ashtanga Yoga system, engage in philosophical analysis of the elements of material nature, practice non-violence and other ordinary principles of piety, chant the Vedas, perform penances, take to renowned order of life, execute sacrificial performance and dig wells, plant trees and perform other public welfare activities, giving charity, carry out severe vows, worship the demigods, chant confidential mantras, visit holy places, accept major and minor disciplinary injunctions. But even by performing such activities, one does not bring me under his control. Understand? We cannot bring the Lord under this. This is not possible. You only can bring the Lord under the control by performing service to his pure devotee. The moment you serve the pure devotee, then immediately you come out of mind. Huh? In every yuga, many living entities entangled in the mode of passion and ignorance gain the association of my devotees. Thus, such living entities as the Daityas, Rakshasas, birds, beasts, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Nagas, Siddhas, Charanas, Guyakas, Vidyadharas, as well as low-class human beings, as the Vaishya, Sudra, women and others, were able to achieve my supreme abode. Vattasura, Prahlad Maharaj and others like them also achieved my abode by association with my devotees. As this personality as Vrashya Parva, Bali Maharaj, Banasura, Maya, Vibhishan, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, Jatendra, Jatayu, Kuladhara, Dharmavid, Vyadha, Kupcha, the gopis in Vrindavan, the wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifice. So many people became devotees just by associating with the devotees. Persons, as mentioned, did not undergo serious studies of the Vedic literature, nor did they worship great saintly persons, nor did they execute severe vows of austerity. Simply by association with me and my devotee, they achieved me. Okay? So once you come to a pure devotee, immediately you come to the highest platform. You understand? That's why association of a pure devotee is so much stress. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the gopis, the cows, the unmoving creatures, such as the twin Arjun trees, animals, living entities with shanted consciousness, such as the bushes and thickets and snakes, such as Kaliya, all achieved the perfection of life by unalloyed love for me, and thus very easily achieved me. See that? So in Vrindavan, everybody became devotees simply by unalloyed service to Krishna. Even though one engaged with great endeavor in the mystic yoga system, philosophical speculation, charity vows, penances, ritualistic sacrifice, teaching of Vedic mantras, personal study of the Vedas, or the renounced order of life, still cannot achieve me. The residents of Vrindavan, headed by the gopis, were always completely attached to me with deepest love. Therefore, when my uncle Akrura brought my brother Balaram and me to the city of Mathura, the residents of Vrindavan suffered extreme mental distress because of separation from me, and could not find any other source of happiness. My dear Uddhava, all those nights that the gopis spent with me, their most dearly beloved in the land of Vrindavan, seemed to them to pass in less than a moment. Whereas my association, however, the gopis felt that those same nights dragged on forever as if each night was equal to day of Brahma. See how their love for Krishna. They're talking about devotees. My dear Uddhava, just as great sages in yogic trance merge into self-realization like rivers merging in the ocean and thus not aware of material name and form, similarly the gopis of Vrindavan were so completely attached to me within their mind that they could not think of their own body, or of this world, or of their future life. Their entire consciousness was simply bound up in me. This is a pure devotee. How they are thinking, how they are acting. In this way they overcome Maya. It is not possible for Maya to touch them. All those hundreds of thousands of gopis understanding me to their most charming lover and ardent desiring me in that way were unaware of my actual position. Yet by intimately associating with me, the gopis attained me the supreme absolute truth. They not even know who Krishna is. Therefore it is explained here. Therefore, my dear Uddhava, abandon the Vedic mantras as well as the procedure of supplementary Vedic literature and their positive and negative injunction. Disregard that which has been heard, that which is to be heard. Simply take shelter of me alone, for I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, situated within the heart of all conditioned souls. Take shelter of me wholeheartedly, and by my grace be free from fear in all the time. But that's the process. Lord Shiva, he was, sitting calmly because he is such a transcendental person. He was completely in the mode of Vasudeva Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktitam. He is in the level of the Vasudeva platform. And therefore he could take it, although his wife died. Correct? Everything in a turmoil, yes. But he is calm, composed. And this can only happen if you become a devotee of Krishna. As I explained here, you can see O soul of the universe, the conditioning of one's personality in material life is very strong. Therefore, it is very difficult even for learned man to tolerate the offenses committed against them by ignorant people. Only your devotees who are fixed in your loving service and have achieved peace by residing at your lotus feet are able to tolerate such offenses. In other words, until we come to the pure platform of devotional service, attached completely to Krishna, we cannot become peaceful. There will always be agitation. Material mode will always be creating what? Always fighting and quarreling. This is what's going on. This is the problem. If you stay in the mode, this is what will happen. Failing to conquer the irresponsible enemy, the mind, whose urges intolerable and torment the heart. Many people completely bewildered and create useless quarrel with others. This is the point. You understand, if you stay in the mode of passion and ignorance, this is what will happen. Instead of becoming composed like Lord Shiva, although he just lost his mind and is tolerating all this, but a person who is not in that level always be fighting. They conclude that other people are either their friends, their enemies, or parties indifferent to them. This is the conclusion. That's why it says, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita Janatu Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chahaya. Understand? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also practiced this. What is that? Nija Bhakti Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have to have Vairagya. Vairagya means tapasya. And you have to have knowledge. Not that you simply do austerity and you have no brain. It cannot work. But both things must be there. You understand? You follow? Like now they are all fasting for Navaratri. Everybody seems to have all kind of fasting program going on. But there are no brains. What they are doing for? There are no brains. They have to do everything in accordance with the scripture. You cannot just concoct your own thing and try. Then it also will not work. The knowledge must be applied in devotional service. And austerity must be applied in devotional service. That means devotional service means only to one person, Krishna. There is no devotional service to the demigods or people that they cannot be. Devotional service only to Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita. Period. You understand? So therefore, we should understand why it is so significant to come to the mode of goodness. And you should understand the only way coming to the mode of goodness is surrendering to the spiritual master. And if we don't want to do this thing, then we will always be tormented by the mode of passion and ignorance, and it will create disturbance for us. It will create what? Disturbance like this. You can see here. Nevertheless, until firmly practicing devotional service to me, one has completely eliminated from his mind all contamination of material passion. One must very carefully avoid associating with the modes which are produced by mind illusory energy. Even though we are serious in spiritual life, you must be very careful. You understand? Not that, yeah, I'm chanting, yes, I can do anything. That's rubbish. You follow? Why? Because, says here, just as improperly treated disease reoccurs and gives repeated distress to the patient, the mind that is not completely purified of its perverted tendency will remain attached to material things and repeatedly torment the imperfect yogi. That's why he says that every day you must do. Huh? What is that? What is that word? Siddhartha, Bhagavad Gita, 940. What? 940? Yes. Well, it says, not that I sleep the whole week and I do one time. That is not possible. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatanta cha tritavataha namasyanta cha mam bhaktya nityayukta upashate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me with this great soul perfectly worship me with devotion. Are you following? This is not some, what we say, I like I do, I don't like I don't do. Then you cannot become strong. And you will be overcome by Maya. Understand? This I like, you like business, it doesn't work spiritually. Maya is waiting, ever ready, waiting to pounce on us. The moment we are little inattentive, it comes in. And then again, we get into all kind of. So we have to be very careful, practice our spiritual life in a very determined way, understanding the complexities of the mode of passion and ignorance, and very easily control our mind. We should be very vigilant, chant Hare Krishna carefully, worship our spiritual master, stay in the association of devotees, read the book, very important, hearing, and this way we will always be protected. So anybody got any questions on this verse? No questions? All right, then we'll stop here. Thank you very much.